Let's talk about plots. If someone wants to build a villa, how much would be for building the villa per square meter, more and less? I know that can vary a lot, but more and less lately, how is it being related regarding to prices? This kind of questions I know probably you have from your clients. And also, how long does it take? I wanted to comment as well from modular system of construction. What do you think about it?
Well, price is always challenging to say something about that, because lately, and we all know, because of some topics we covered before, we are now in an area with a high demand, and this means we are in a hot market, and prices are not stable at the moment. They are increasing, I should say. Every single year we notice that they are coming up and up, not just plots, but also construction. I should say few years, we were talking about 2,000 euro per square meter. Now this is completely out of date. I should say minimum 2,500. From there, the limit is the sky, of course. It depends on the qualities and depends on many factors. But an average price around 3,000 could be normal for depending the size of villa and the qualities demanded by a client, but no less than 200 and 2,500 for sure. And beside that, I think you ask for timeline and the like. Well, from the first sketch to the house completely finished, it could take around 2 years for normal houses, a medium size. And we are not talking about those huge villas in Zagaleta we spoke before, but this is normal for someone, client having an idea of timing.
What about the modular?
Well, I'm not specialist in that. I really interested. In some cases, I expressed my opinion in the way of traditional. We normally use here concrete structure or mixed with iron. Yes, could be iron and brickwork. That could be also drywall as well. Okay, this is a traditional type. Well, it's the type we normally use here. Lately, there are people, especially foreigner clients, that are interested in making something new. Let's say either laminated wood or modular, as the one you mentioned. These normally are run by a specialized company, which is important because I have had some searching and experience years ago after the recession in 2008. We were with a colleague that was working with me. We investigated the steel framing, which is so well known in the UK, also in the United States, and in some places in the Northern Europe. The conclusion was it's not the time for us to start promoting that because it was too early for us. As far as I know, very few companies are doing this now because it's so, again, has to be specialized, has to be properly done. Otherwise, could be a disaster. But lately, more and more companies are offering alternative systems like the one you mentioned, modular, either in iron or, as I said before, in wood. I have to admit, I have no real experience in doing that, but willing to incorporate that in my projects.
Another question, Jose. We know that artificial intelligence is growing fast. When you first moved to Costa del Sol, nobody knew about you. What would you suggest for some new architect that are moving to live in Costa del Sol? If you are going to suggest some important things for the people that are starting, what would you say to these people? And do you think the artificial intelligence will just take some jobs from architecture as well? And also the third question, how was it for you to start at the market? As we know, it's quite hard at the beginning. What do you think it's the most important thing for someone who is starting in a new place as an architect or any other profession?
Well, that's a difficult question. Well, there are two parts of the question. One is when I started, well, three parts, I mean. When I started, it was so basic. Actually, I started in Seville, in the university. I worked there in a big firm, architecture firm. I noticed that I was not growing as fast as I wanted there. As my family was based here in Costa del Sol, I decided to come here. It was a right decision, in my understanding, because a lot of job here. I have my family, then I started living on my own. Well, as I were from here, I know people and I established some connection with the professionals and the like, and it was like word of mouth way. Nowadays it's different, absolutely different. That's why we are doing things like that. We are creating our own personal brand and the like, and I should strongly recommend a new professional to start in a different way of thinking. Architecture, as we know when I started, is now different. Besides that, artificial intelligence is making a difference, of course, before and after, no hesitation at all. The affection to the architectural work, I think, is not going to be bad at all. It's even much better because we are having very strong tools for many different things, and it's not affecting us in some other, let's say, more not technical but repeating tasks that can be covered by the artificial intelligence is not affecting in that way to the architect, in my opinion. And of course, using the AI for promoting yourself, I'm actually using that as part of my strategic work, you know.
But I really believe that artificial intelligence will influence the real estate market, the real estate agents' work, because it's already doing. We have seen many companies now offering services of artificial intelligence, automation to contact clients, call clients, follow up. Almost everything that you can do from a real person, you can do with artificial intelligence. In my opinion, many agents in real estate will lose their position for artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, you need to be very good, better than before, to compensate you working as a physical person for an agency, especially with your language. We know here in Marbella, Costa del Sol, people are coming from different countries, so if you speak Polish, then you're going to have an advantage from other people who doesn't speak Polish, and then you can connect easier with these people.
Well, I agree with you in the way of now is a must. You have to learn, of course. You have to be, as a professional, you have to be always open to learn new things. But when it comes to technology, it's not an option. You have to be, I'm not saying frontline, avant-garde in that, but you have to think that if this is now working in that way, if you are an agent, my opinion, you should learn that, otherwise you will keep out of the market. In my case, I'm old enough to know that sooner or later, younger people are going to take advantage of me, but I'm trying to be, as much as I can, improving myself in terms of technology knowledge, using new tools or whatever. That is really relevant. Otherwise, market will take you off.
What are the most common mistakes that the foreign people make when they buy a plot to build a villa, for example?
I should say something that some people could feel that is weird, but it's so common, with all my respect to these professionals, but it's so common that people first approach a builder, and a builder knows from his profession, and of course more than me in many ways, but when it comes to starting the process, and builders normally don't have the overall view. I have suffered some clients that firstly approach to a builder and then say it's mistake. When the moment arrives, of course, we have to deal, and it's an important piece of that maze, which is the doing a house. But architects has the whole view of what a process is. And it means from the sketch to the project, license, going tender, everything, the whole process. If you ask a builder, maybe he could say, well, I can recommend you someone. I could talk to you about pricing, but that's all. Not the overall cost, not the whole process, even not the finishing. Once they finish their job, there are some other after construction questions to sort out, like inscribing on the land registry or getting the first occupation license, which actually the builder probably doesn't care.
Yeah, and from my experience, Jose, building many houses, many condominiums in Brazil for 15 years now, I can say that I see two main mistakes that people do when they want to build something. Even if we are talking about a unique individual house, and this is the main one, or maybe they will build something for investment to resell later. The first thing is that you have to analyze the contract with the people. You're going to probably have 5 budgets. If you are smart, you're going to have 5 budgets with 5 different construction companies, and you're going to have 5 different prices. But first thing, don't choose just from the price.
True.
Analyze all the aspects, the agility, the experience of the people, the reputation, and then the price. Okay, and after you decide this, you have to look at the project. The same mistake I see many people making, like when they build a house, for example, they go to an architect, okay, I want to build a house, and then you present the project. And many people, they don't analyze the project, and after the house is built, they see, oh, but I didn't want this bedroom here. I wanted another window here. I didn't want this door here. It's a process that you have to deep and have a look and think a lot before before you start. And the contract is the same thing. I've done myself some mistakes at the past, and then what happens normally when you hire someone to build a house for you, you have to go to the details, the underlying details of the contract, the conditions you're gonna pay. It has to be safe for you. You should have a lawyer to help you with that, to analyze the contract. We have to have maybe an accountant for you as well, because you're gonna hire people that will be working for you. Of course, you are hiring a company, but these people that can maybe involving yourself later with some like juridic process or something like that. So have an accountant and a lawyer to analyze how is going to be the payments, how risky is this process for you if you're going to sign a contract and start the process. And the people normally they are excited to start, they just go fast to this very important phase of the process.
I fully agree with you, and you raise an important point, which is the tender process. But it's not only that. As I said before, my advice to the client is I can talk you about the whole process, but we normally, especially when you have foreign clients, they have to have starting from the agency, from the state agency, very in the early moment, they will have a contract with the lawyers. An accountant, probably yes, maybe not in the early first moment. Sooner or later, they will need to. And the more important thing, as you said, tender process is so relevant. It's so normal that, let's say, this client that point to me, I know a builder and I want to involve him in the process. It's perfectly okay. I can recommend you some others, serious professionals. I have no any other interest than delivering with them a good product. And when we go tenders, we ask for the builders to fill in a questionnaire where they express their background in terms of, as you said, experience, team, staff they have, all these questions for the client to better know which is the person we are dealing with. And after that, really relevant, really important is the contract. As you said, many people are willing to start. They want to start no matter what. Then no, big mistake. Rush is not never good in that way. We, along with, especially with lawyer, with the solicitor, we check the contract, making our comments. It's not our responsibility, but we normally offer that help to the client. Go to the solicitor, draft a contract. We can supervise that, and this should be the key point during the construction. For keeping the contract in a drawer. Once we are where you are protected, when it's a fair contract, of course, but you are protected, then everything will run smoothly. That's the key point.
Yeah.